Kababayan LA Immigration. Of course, we have our immigration specialist here, Attorney Allison Aquino, and family law attorney Jesus. Hello and welcome to Kababayan LA. Good to see you once again. And you as well, Allison. What's new with immigration?
Well, there's a lot of things actually going on. The biggest news is regarding a memo put out by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, essentially delineating the factors for requesting what's called prosecutorial discretion.
Okay.
And it's immigration's way of trying to make life a little bit easier for immigrants without needing Congress to make changes in the law.
That is good. And I think I discussed that. Did I discuss that a little bit with Attorney Richard Lowe the last time he was here? Maybe yeah.
It's a new memo that just came out since then, but it's been something that immigration has been talking about for a little while.
Right.
And so they just issued the policy last June 17th.
Right. And now we cannot overemphasize the correlation between immigration and family law, because a lot of our Filipinos, unfortunately, overseas Filipino workers, they come here and then they encounter family problems because they are away from each other. What's new on the family law front?
It's true. The numbers are in disproportionate amounts, but it's naturally true that Philippine clients, like any other segment of the society, generally needs a lot of domestic relations help and assistance. The laws in America are not very obvious to your common layman, and obviously what you see on television or entertainment is often flat out wrong.
Right.
So I always highly advise that anybody who you care about, who needs domestic relations or family law matters, to please seek legal counsel.
When you say flat out wrong, can you give us an example of what we see on TV?
Well, for example, the ongoing myth that someone can't get a divorce in some countries because the respondent doesn't want to allow it.
Right.
In California, it's a no-fault state, so you can't force somebody to stay married if they want to. If you want out of a relationship in California, you can get out. There's always a way.
Okay, what about people that move here? Okay, so the spouse that moves here and then cheats on her or his wife or her husband or wife in the Philippines, and then the other aggrieved party, in the Philippines want to seek divorce. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
No doubt about it. As long as the respondent is living here in the country, in California in particular, then yes, you're absolutely
How do they, living in the Philippines, file for divorce then?
It's a great question, and it's very difficult to do in pro without an attorney. But just having somebody to represent you here in California, they can file the paperwork, and it can even be done by, you can sign the documents by facsimile, you can correspond by email. So there's always a way. Where there's a will, you can get a divorce.
Right. And of course, at the end of the program, we'll give you the number of Attorney Allison Aquino and Attorney Jesus to give you some information so that you can call them directly to schedule an appointment, correct? But for now, that's our number on the screen. Like I said earlier, we're giving you free legal advice here on Kababayan LA. I always hear about families moving here wanting to get some kind of immigration status for their nannies. How do you proceed with that?
Well, there are a few types of visas as far as nannies are concerned. The most typical ways for the individual to be sponsored with a labor certification. The one thing that needs to be pointed out is that those petitions often take many, many, many years to resolve.
And what happens? Can the nanny stay here, or do they have to go back to the Philippines?
No. The individual being sponsored is supposed to stay back in the Philippines during the sponsorship process. One way, however, that is little known to individuals, nowadays there's a lot more people who are having dual residences, both in the United States and in the Philippines. If an individual has a permanent residence abroad in the Philippines and they're solely coming into the United States for short trips, even short being, say, a year long, in order to take care of affairs here in the United States, an individual in that situation can actually bring their nanny from overseas to the United States during their trips here.
Oh, so even for a year?
Yes.
Even for as long as a year?
For as long as that U.S. citizen is going to be here in the United States, given about 1 year is about the maximum period of time that they can come in.
I knew it. I knew that we're going to be learning a lot more today on Kababayan LA on immigration and on family law, and you get the chance to call and ask them questions for free. Salvador is our first caller. Hello and welcome to Kababayan LA. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Janelle and Attorney.
What is your question?
Allison Aquino.
Yes.
I'm a U.S. citizen. Gusto ko mag-apply ng dual citizenship na Filipino. Hindi po ba mawawala yung aking pagiging U.S. citizen?
No. A lot of people are afraid, Janelle, that by reacquiring their Filipino citizenship after becoming a U.S. citizen, that they will somehow jeopardize their U.S. citizenship.
Yes.
The laws are very clear that although the U.S. government does not desire people to become dual nationals, the laws do allow an individual to become dual nationals without endangering their U.S. citizenship.
All right. Thank you so much. And that is just the start. We are going to return and take more of your phone calls here on Kababayan LA. Don't go away.